What is going on, guys? My name is Sena and welcome back to another video. If you guys remember, like 2 months back, I made a video called 6 bad habits that are holding you back in Valorant. I'm sure a lot of you have watched that video because it is one of the most popular videos on my channel. There's a lot of bad habits that I didn't get around to covering in that video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 7 more bad habits that are holding you back in Valorant. You guys seem to really enjoy the last one, so I thought why not just make another one. If you do end up enjoying this video or finding it useful, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. I also want to apologize for the lack of content recently. Life has just been crazy and I want to get more on a routine schedule, so I'm going to try to upload as much as possible. Anyways, guys, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. The first bad habit, which is a bad habit that a lot of people have and it's pretty common, and that is insta-crouching. Instantly crouching or crouch spraying is a bad habit that I see all the time and that a lot of players have. Even I sometimes do this from time to time, and I need to catch myself because it is such a bad habit and it makes you such an easy kill. Basically what insta-crouching is as soon as you get into a fight or as soon as you shoot, you instantly go into crouch spray mode. The reason why this is such a bad habit is because when you crouch like this, you are committing 100% to that fight. When you're crouched, your movement is extremely limited and you're basically like a sentry turret. You can't strafe behind a wall, you can't strafe back and forth to make yourself more mobile. You are a sitting duck and basically committed to that fight. Now don't get me wrong, crouching itself isn't bad. Crouching to throw off crosshair placement is actually really good, but when you're doing it every single time you get into a fight out of instinct, it is becoming a bad habit for you. There are a few ways that you can go about getting rid of this bad habit. The most common one that I see is unbinding your crouch key. For a lot of players, this gets them in the habit of not pressing crouch because it doesn't make them crouch in game. The way that I like to break this habit is by going into deathmatch and then unrated and making it a goal to not crouch. I don't mess with my keybinds, I don't unbind anything, I just go, this game I am not going to crouch spray. If you want to unbind crouch and that method works for you, that's great. I'd recommend doing that then. A third way that I saw that someone left in my comment section that I actually thought was really clever is binding your crouch key to drop weapon. This makes it so that whenever you press your crouch bind, you will drop your weapon out of your hands, and this will traumatize you to never press your crouch key again. I've never heard of that method, and I'd recommend giving that a try if this is seriously a bad habit for you and you can't break it. Moving on, the second bad habit that I want to talk about in this video is not smoking off the bomb when you're in a retake situation. To give an example, let's say you're defending on Haven and the attackers took C site and now you have to retake C. Let's say all of the attackers are C long and they're holding the bomb for post plant. What I see a lot of players do in this situation is they would smoke off C long and try to defuse the bomb. This is actually pretty bad and I would not recommend doing this, and instead I would recommend smoking off the bomb itself instead of the choke point. The reason for this is that when you smoke off the choke point, the enemies get to spray the bomb for free and your teammates cannot fight them. When you smoke off the bomb itself, you are concealed while you're defusing, but your teammates can fight the people long and help cover you. You never want to let the enemies spray the bomb for free because there's nothing that you can really do, and the chances of you dying while defusing, especially if there's a lot of them long, is very high. So remember guys, next time you retake the site and you have sight, make sure you're smoking off the bomb so that your team can fight the enemies while the person gets the defuse off for free. The third bad habit that I want to talk about in this video is something that I like to call W peeking. If you guys don't know what W peeking is, basically what it means is when you are peeking an angle while holding W. The reason why this is bad is because when you're holding W, your character is the easiest shot to hit for the enemy. When peeking an angle, you want to make sure that you're only peeking with A and D because this will make your character move the fastest. I'll put up an example on screen now of the difference between W peeking and peeking using A and D. People who W peek often put their crosshair on the side of the wall that they're peeking and kind of do this swoop maneuver. Instead, what you're going to want to do is pre-aim the angle on the wall and then swing using A or D, and this will make you much more successful in winning your fights. This is just one of the fundamentals to movement in Valorant, and it's really good to get in the habit of doing this because when you're pressing W, your strafes are so much slower and you're such an easier shot to hit. The only real way to break this bad habit is just by peeking with A and D and getting used to it, but I really recommend that you guys get in the habit of doing this because peeking with W is not good at all. The fourth bad habit that I want to talk to you guys about is ghost calming. Basically what ghost calming is when you give a false call out to your teammate. I do this sometimes, you do this sometimes. Everybody accidentally gives a ghost calm at one point or another, but it's really good to get in the habit of breaking this because it can really give your team some false information. A lot of the times on Bind, I'll mix up hookah and U-Haul, and I'll say hookah when I meant U-Haul, and then someone dies because they think that U-Haul is clear. Another ghost calm that I accidentally give a lot is on Breeze. I call this area up here top mid instead of nest. So when I say top mid, people are expecting to be swung from actual mid and not nest, and I really need to get in the habit of calling this nest. In order to break this habit, you pretty much just need to have more map knowledge and just keep playing the game and hearing the callouts and understanding where all of the locations are. This isn't the worst habit that you can have, but it's one that I see a lot and that I do a lot as well. Moving on from this, the fifth bad habit that I want to talk to you guys about is not checking your map. In Valorant, it is crucial that you are always checking your map for information. This is especially true for those of you who have teammates that won't comm. If you're stuck in a lobby full of no-commers, your map is going to be your best friend. The reason why the map is so good is because whenever your teammate spots someone, they will get spotted on the map for everyone to see. Not only this, but if an enemy runs into a chamber trip or a cypher trip or gets spotted by a killjoy turret, that will also alert you on the map as well. The map just has so much good information, and it's crucial that you're constantly glancing at your map. Now this can be a double-edged sword because sometimes I'll be holding an angle for 8 years, and then the second I go to check my map, all of a sudden someone swings me and I die because of it. But you need to understand that when that happens, it's not checking the map that's a bad habit, it's when you check it. When that happens, it just means that I checked my map at the wrong time, and instead you want to be checking your map whenever you're in a space where you can't get swung. It is also really good to glance at your map whenever a teammate dies so that you can figure out where they died from or where the enemies are pushing. This goes hand in hand with cross map awareness, and your map is just such a good tool, and I've talked about the map in multiple videos. Also, the default map settings are pretty bad, and I'd recommend that you go check out my video on how to comm like a Radiant so that you can get the best map settings that I included in that video. Next up, the sixth bad habit that I want to talk to you guys about in this video is holding onto your ult or your util for too long. What I see a lot of people do is when they get their ult, they're waiting for the perfect moment to use it, and that perfect moment might never come around, and they're just holding onto it for no reason. I understand with certain ults, like a Brimstone ult or a Sova ult, you're saving it for post plant, but still, that's no excuse to just hold onto it for the entire game. If you have an ult, just use it so then you could start building up your next ult instead of just holding on to it, because it can really turn the tides of a round. And the same thing applies for utility. I see a lot of people just hold on to their util and not using it during a round, but you need to realize that you get your util back every round and you need to use it. Utility in Valorant is one of the most important aspects of it, and if you have good utility usage, that will go a very long way in your gameplay. So if you've got flashes, you've got mollies, you've got shock darts, you've got something, just throw it at the enemy. Just use it in some way because it could just win you a round. So yeah guys, never be afraid to pop that ult or use that util. It's very expendable and it can definitely turn the tides of a round for your team. Moving on from this, the seventh and final bad habit is face clearing choke points. If you guys don't already know, face clearing is where you just swing an angle to clear it rather than using util. I see this happen a lot, and it is such a bad habit because it's such an easy kill for the defender. shoulders. This is especially true for double choke points like C long on Haven, where there could be someone directly to the left or right, or backside that can kill you as soon as you swing. When you're pushing a site like this, you want to make sure that you're throwing out a flash and waiting for your drone to go through to clear all of these close angles rather than clearing it yourself. This bad habit comes with impatience, and a lot of people aren't patient enough and don't want to wait for that util to go through and just want to rush into the site and swing and take a fight. Face clearing is more of a gamble than it is anything else, which means that it'll work for you sometimes, but other times it won't. And if you want to win as many games as possible, you never want to take gambles like this. I understand it can be frustrating if you have teammates that don't know how to use their util or don't use their util, but instead of just running it down and just face clearing everything, maybe just ask them to use some of that util to help you out because they might not know. So remember guys, never dry peek or face clear anything. Make sure that you always have util to back you up, and this goes back to the 6th habit, which is why util is so important in Valorant. And there you guys have it. There are 7 more bad habits that I wanted to mention in the last video, but I finally got around to talking about in this video. If you are a beginner and just started playing Valorant, or you've been playing Valorant since beta, I can guarantee you that some of these bad habits will apply to you. I know they certainly do for me, and I'm still working every day to become the best player I can. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. A quick side note is that the new bundle, which is the Titan Mail bundle, is now out in Valorant, and I think it looks pretty cool, but it's really disappointing that there is no VFX or finishers or anything. I think that this set is one of the coolest looking ones aesthetically, but I'm probably not going to pick it up just because of the animations. I think the best thing in this set is probably the knife, because at least it's moving and the mace does look pretty cool. So yeah, there's that. I'm gonna try to start uploading more frequently. I've just been so busy with stuff IRL, and life has been so crazy for me recently, but I am trying to get back in the swing of things. I have a Discord server linked in the description below if you want to go join that, join the community. Make sure you go down, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, all of that good stuff. I've been having fun playing Valorant this act, but I'm really hyped for the next act, which will be a new episode, and that's most likely when they're going to start adding the tournament system and all of that cool new stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.
I got the drip of the Sony. I know she be capping, she know she want me. And I got the stacks, we came like an army. General Grievous, boy, you can't disarm me.